Are we live? Are we live? Are we live? Everybody, and welcome. I'm Susana Kennedy, and this is actually the first episode of Thrive coming back. It was not planned that way, but I've been saying for a while now that I really do want Thrive to come back. And Scott and I have actually been chatting about it, and I just thought this is the perfect opportunity. Scott is amazing, guys. You are going to absolutely love him. For each and every one of you that has not been exposed to Scott Picken yet, hold on to your horses, because he is just this person that is led by his heart. He absolutely wants to empower people in the most authentic, beautiful way. And this is where we connect with each other. And this is why I'm working with him. And I recently joined all of the projects that he's doing. And I've kind of been putting my toes in because there's so much and it's so beautiful. And I wanted to share the opportunity with you guys to understand how to create an actually wealthy life. So a lot of people make money, but how do you create a wealthy life? And so that's what we're going to be discussing today. I'm super, super excited. I see you guys tuning in. Hello. Oh, lots of you on Instagram. Hello, Ahsoka. Hello, Coach. Hello, Nylon. Hello, Joanne. Hello, Chris. Hello, Reka. Hello, T. Hello, Dean. I wish I could say everyone's names, but I can't. Please let me know where in the world you are tuning in from. Elaine, welcome. Yay, lovely Elaine. Hello, who else is in here? Felicity, Maureen, Michael. Hello, Pam. Sorry that I'm not getting through all your names, but let me know where in the world you're tuning in from. I love celebrating our global community. It is part of the thing that just makes it so much fun, knowing that we are not separated, but that we are actually all connected and all going on this beautiful journey together. York, England. Hey, Michael, tuning in from York, England. Let's see where else people are. Nigeria. Hello. Who is that from Nigeria? Hello, Sholo. Hello. Lovely to see you online. Cape Town, Pretoria, England, Mauritius. Beautiful. So many different places. India, Dubai, wonderful, guys. This is so lovely. Johannesburg, wonderful. Yay. Thank you for being here. In just a moment, I'm going to introduce you to my lovely friend, Scott Picken. Guys, I'm telling you, you're going to love him, but I want you to also, if you have the ability right now, I want you to get a pen and paper, because you are going to want to take notes. Scott is going to be sharing so many great little tidbits of information, and I don't want you to miss out. So without further ado, let's see if I can pin Scott and pin me. Okay, pin me, pin Scott. Excellent. Okay, here we go. And drum roll, please, ladies and gentlemen, Scott Picken. Right. Hey, Scott, how are you?
It's always a bit of an introduction. I'm used to the financial space where we turn up and everyone's conservative, and so it's a wonderful introduction. Thank you.
Such a
Yeah, no,
pleasure.
very excited to be here and share with your community. And for me personally, this is a passion that and a privilege that I get to share with others. So I literally just came off a session with a couple in the Algarve, and it's wonderful to be able to help people that have spent a huge amount of their time working really hard to make their money, and now they're like, what do we do with it? How do we do it? How do we protect it? And so, yeah, I'm gifted that I get to share this with people.
Amazing. And what is it that you exactly do for people who have never been exposed to Scott Picken? In a nutshell, what do you think if you could describe your mission on this planet, what is that mission?
Well, I think the best way to describe it is it starts with a story about my dad. So, my dad did what we were all taught to do. He went to school, went to university, he worked really hard, he got a great job. He was financial director of a listed company. He invested, he went to the financial industry, paid his taxes. And yet when my dad died at 59, he died broke. And I
Mm,
was kind of like, I was young at the time, and I was like, this makes no sense to me. Like, we've all been taught to do this. Like, almost every single person that's on here has been taught to work hard, go to school, get a degree, get a great job, and don't worry, you'll retire happily at 65. And yet, it didn't happen for my dad. And then I went and did the research, and I found a guy called Dr. Hannes Dreyer. And he actually looked at it, and in England, Australia, America, so not even South Africa and other countries, like England, Australia, America, at the age of 65, 94% of people will be like my dad. They'll either be broke, dead, or reliant on the government. 5% of people are what's called financially independent. So they're like, oh, cool, I'm financially independent. But actually, that means you earn 25% less than your last paycheck. So, I mean, that's actually financially trapped, which is, by the way, where most of our parents are. You know, the baby boomers are all going into that space. And basically, 1% of people retire wealthy. And then I always ask people, well, what do they do differently? You know, do they have better families? Were they born in different places? You know, do they go to different universities? And it's none of that. It's the truth is they invest in better assets. And so when you ask me what my mission is, you know, I've been doing this for 28 years. And as I've evolved more and more, I've just realized we've got to help everybody to be able to invest like the top 1%. It's that simple. Like the greatest challenge, there's 17 challenges on this planet according to the UN, but the number one is actually poverty and the wealth gap. And I don't mean people living in squatter shacks. I mean, that's a major problem in itself. But actually even the middle class that works hard, invests, and still doesn't retire wealthy even though they try. You know, we've got to solve that. And so, yeah, my mission is to help everybody invest like the top 1%. And my philosophy, or our philosophy as a company, is if you invest like the top 1%, the chances are you're going to get the same returns as the top 1%. And then we can truly change things.
And sorry guys, this gets me so excited. But what I really, really, really love about how you've done things, Scott, and hold on to your seats, boys and girls, for those of you who are sitting here going, yeah, but I don't have the money to invest like the top 1%. Guys, Scott has created a platform that allows you to invest from $10. Like I was speaking to my Uber driver. I keep speaking to my Uber driver, Scott, about this because I'm like so excited because everybody can invest. If you can start investing with $10, that's less than 200 Rand. Give up 2 or 3 coffees for the week and you're there, you know? So it's where your priorities lie. And the other thing that I wanted to just loop back on is so many people, I don't know if you guys have heard this, but the biggest fear used to be that speaking in front of an audience, like one of the biggest besides death, obviously, but speaking in front of the audience. And some people actually were more scared of speaking in front of an audience than dying. Like it was a proper thing. There was a study that went round. But over the last few years, there's been a study that shows that actually now the biggest fear is because we're living longer, but our retirement age is still staying the same, that there's this big gap and that people are going to run out of money before they die. And so understanding that you need to create a wealthy life that will support you not only within this lifetime but beyond, so that you can leave some for your family and your loved ones, or to a cause that means so much to you. I love that idea. I really, really do. So Scott, can we chat a little bit about that? Because I think that a lot of people watch this, and there's some people that are like, yes, I can invest, I've got extra money, but others who are going, geez, I'm really struggling and I don't even know how to get the end of the month to meet my budget and what I need to get done. So how does it all work, and how have you managed to create this opportunity?
So I'm gonna answer that for you, but I just want to find a slide very quickly for you.
Okay.
Because you were talking about living and the fact that most of us now statistically are going to live to 100 years. And I've got a slide here. I'm just looking for it. Hopefully I can find it for you. If not, I'll have to share it otherwise. But anyway, it's called the 100-Year Life. And the challenge is that in the old days, it's not coming up. Anyway, I didn't have it prepared. You just mentioned
sorry.
it. So
I threw you in there.
But I'll find it just now. But in simple terms, the point being is the graph goes like this, where we basically went to university, went to school, went to university, then we started working, we basically invested, then we retire and we hope we die before the money runs out. Like it's literally a curve that like does that. And now there's no, like, you can't learn one course and go and get a job for 30, 40 years. Like, you're constantly learning. So you're basically doing this. You have to be constantly learning, constantly improving. What you knew 10 years ago becomes irrelevant if AI takes out your job, as an example. So, and the logic is with investing, it has to be the same thing. You can't put your money into a pension, hope that it grows, and then basically, hope that you die before your money runs out. You actually need to be investing in quality assets that can pay you passive income, whether you live to 65 or 105. And then, as you said, Susanna, the ideally is that if you die, you don't actually have to sell the asset, or it hasn't, like, you can pass it on to your children, so you can create legacy within your family. So that's a whole separate topic. We could do literally a whole masterclass just on the 100-year life, because I'm fascinated about how trends are changing and how we have to be learning and doing. So just by the way, most people have been taught to go to school and university and learn. Like, I'll go and learn about property. I'll go and read, I don't know, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, or Real Estate Riches, etc. And I got that the wrong way around. Once I've learned all about property, then I'll go and invest in property. And it's actually wrong, because none of us ever learned to walk by reading a book. We learned to do it by doing it. So to your point, what we basically did, and again, to tell a little bit of a story, I've helped thousands and thousands of people buy houses. So it was residential houses in South Africa, Australia, England, and America. But what we realized was the real money was being made in commercial property. And so we said, okay, well, the problem is you need millions of dollars to be able to invest in commercial property. And I couldn't do it on my own. And so we were like, well, how could we use technology to allow us to come together? And by coming together, we actually end up being quite a formidable force, the same as the institutions. And so we can basically invest like the institutions. And so that's what we did. Nothing's changed in terms of investing in property or real estate, commercial assets. All that we've done is we've used technology to bring people together so that they can invest like the institutions. And then because of technology, in the old days, if you went to see a stockbroker or financial planner, the financial planner would say, do you have $100,000? And if you don't, I'm not talking to you, because I don't have the time to look after you. Because in the old days, it was spreadsheets and emails and bits of paper and all that. Whereas with technology, it's completely democratized. So whether it's $100,000 or $10, you can provide someone the same experience, the same opportunities, the same investments. And the metaphor I like to use is Uber, because we all know Uber. Okay, you've just mentioned it. Is that 20 years ago, how many people had a private driver? Like nobody. Like literally the top 1% of the top 1% had a private driver. Now, anyone that's got a mobile phone, a smartphone, has Uber, and therefore technically has access to a private driver. I mean, any of us can go anywhere in the world, we can go on Uber and we can have a private driver. So the logic for me is exactly the same. Until 10 years ago, the only people that could invest in things like commercial property, and by the way, it's not only property, it could be structured notes or private equity or like literally investments people have never heard of, but that's what the wealthy are investing in, and we don't even get access to it. And as an example, when you invest like it, just like Uber democratized access using technology, these assets can be democratized using technology so that you and I can participate. So I know that's a mouthful, but what I'd like to do, with your permission at some point, is actually to show people, because otherwise it sounds like lots of noise and they can literally see it live,
Yeah, I think you should do that like right now. I think to show people how it works so that they understand it. Are you going to speak into diversification while you show them?
I will do. I think let me show you the simplicity. So if you can just let me share my screen.
I can let you share your screen. Allow. Let me know if that worked.
So yeah, so we're just on the platform here. I'm just logging in, so you're seeing it's live. It's not a PowerPoint, and so I'm going into the investment platform. So I'm not going to kind of give a full demo now unless people want it. But I mean, I can go in, I can do my own profile, I can do it in a company, a trust, whatever. I've got my portfolio, so I can manage my portfolio around the world. We'll come back to diversification, but I can manage everything in one place. Plus, I've got my digital wallet, so I don't need to go and set up structures and bank accounts and anything. Everything's in one place. I can manage everything all in one place. All my dividends and distributions are here. But in simple terms, right now we've got an opportunity in London. So we've got a private equity opportunity in London. We've got a debt opportunity in Austin, Texas, America. Soon to have a new president. We've got an opportunity in Phoenix, Arizona, also America. So this is an industrial logistics building. So if anyone knows anything about COVID, industrial and logistics has really done well with the whole rise in e-commerce and everything that's going on. And then we've got a German opportunity, which is mixed use. So German property, which is mixed use. And again, Germany, the powerhouse of Europe. And if you want to diversify, you should really be looking at different countries, different currencies, different assets, different partners, and different time. But before we go into diversification, because I don't want to complicate things, if I was to say to people, and just chuck it in the chat box, and maybe Susana, if you want to be looking on the Instagram to see what people want, where should we play? I'm just a kid at heart. I'm just a grown. I'm like a grown kid, if you want to call it that. So I loved Monopoly when I was like 5, and I've never changed. I've always loved Monopoly, and all that we've tried to do is use technology to make Monopoly a real life thing. So do you want to start in London, in Austin, in Phoenix, or in Germany? Like literally just where do you want to start?
Where do you guys want to start? Where in the world do you want to start, guys? London, Phoenix.
So Elaine says all of them.
That's a good answer, Elaine. London.
London.
What was the
Cool,
other one? Phoenix, Germany, hey?
Phoenix, Germany. Yeah, so we've got Germany as well. Okay, so let's go here. So let's go to London. You know, you can basically go in, you can see all the returns, you can see the risks, you can watch the videos, you can go read all about it, you can download the documentation, etc. But I just want to show you the simplicity. So I decide I want to invest in London. I can do it from $10. I literally go continue. I go sign the agreements. So I'm digitally signing the agreements, and I can download them. I go agree, and I go make investment. And you've literally just watched me invest into London. So if I go view my portfolio, there's my London investment sitting there. Now, just to put this into perspective, 10 years ago, if you want to invest in London, you had to come on an airplane with me, you had to fly to London, you had to set up a company in London, you had to get a mortgage to buy a property, you had to buy the property, you had to manage the property. If the toilets were broken, you had to fix them. You know, even if you had a management agent, you had to manage that. The hassle and complexity is massive. You've just watched me literally in 30 seconds invest in London. Now, someone else said Germany. I think you actually said Phoenix first. So let's go and invest in industrial building. I don't think many people thought in their lives that they'd be investing in industrial buildings, logistics, right in the heart of Phoenix. By the way, Phoenix, top 3 cities in America to invest in right now. And you can look through it, you can do the returns calculator, etc., etc. But again, I want to invest in the deal, and I, again, digitally sign the agreement. I can download it if I want. I go agree, I go make investment. And you've just seen me invest in London. Now you've seen me invest in America. And I tell you what, just to keep everyone happy, because someone said Germany, let's diversify and invest in 3 different countries. So once again, I can go to the German deal, all the same kind of information, but I can go invest in this deal from $10. I literally go digitally sign the agreement. I go agree, and I make investment.
Can
and
I?
What you've literally,
Yeah. No, sorry, go for it.
No, what I was going to say is what you've just witnessed me do in whatever you want to call it, 90 seconds, 2 minutes, is we've diversified and we've invested in London, in Phoenix, Arizona, America, and we've invested in Germany. So what we've achieved is we've diversified across 3 countries, we've diversified across 3 currencies, we've diversified across 3 different assets, 3 different partners, and the different assets have different time frames. So you're diversified across time as well. And the single most important principle to investment, literally the single most important principle, is diversification. And you've just seen, it now accessible. And as you said, for a cup of coffee or a couple of cups of coffee, you can get started, which unfortunately removes all your excuses.
Absolutely. Do you want to stop sharing for a moment? Because I really want to speak into this, because I know that a lot of people, some of you might not be feeling like this, but I know that some of you will be feeling like this. When I first came to Scott, I was like, the thing is, for me, time is the most valuable commodity for me. Like, time is like the most valuable thing. What I love about this, Scott, is you've done all the freaking research. You've gone into the backgrounds. You've made sure it's a good investment. It's a solid investment. And so when I go onto the platform, and decide to play Monopoly and have a good time, I actually can trust that what you've chosen is a good investment. So I just want to reiterate that for everybody that's out there. And I also want to speak into diversification because the fact that you can.
Just before you go to diversification, I just want to context one thing you just said.
Yes.
Firstly, neither you or I are giving financial advice. So I've done this for 28 years and I'm deeply passionate about what I do, but I feel very strongly that people take control of their own lives. So yes, we do a hell of a lot of work. We go and find the partners. We do a lot of due diligence. We put everything that we can from a transparency perspective on the platform and everything. But I just want to be clear, nothing's guaranteed. Like you can leave your money in a bank, it's not guaranteed. And I believe in empowering people to make the right decisions, but I don't believe in people usurping their responsibility. I just want to make sure, like it's important what you said. Yes, we've done the hard work, but the responsibility still lies with each of us to take care of ourselves.
For sure. But do you agree that it takes a lot of the legwork of investing
Completely.
out of it?
To do what I just showed you, to go to 3 different countries. I mean, literally, if you go to America, there's 300 cities. Which city do you start in? Most people don't know this, but there's the blue and the red states. Some of them are tax friendly, some of them aren't. Like, I mean, I could talk to you. I've been investing in America since 2011. So I agree with you, Susana. I can help you save 20 years and help you find the right places to invest, the right partners, the right assets. So I 100% agree with you in cutting out the time, just like Uber does, by the way. It cuts out the expenses, it cuts out the middleman, it cuts out the time. I just want to reiterate that nothing's fail safe.
Sure.
And it's important to people just understand that.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I love that you're always very, very clear, Scott. You're very like, let's get the clear picture on the table. I think it's very important. Speaking about, and I love the Uber analogy, by the way, because I think I've never looked at Uber like that. And I think it's a beautiful analogy. And I can completely see how you've created an Uber type model, but for everyone. I think it's really, really beautiful. So well done. I want to speak to you just about diversification just for a moment, like just delve into it slightly deeper, because I think that a lot of people have heard about diversification. They've always heard, like, don't put all your eggs in one basket, right? But they don't understand the true implication or the true lack of the true dangers of not diversifying. Like you were saying now, one deal can go sour. And if you put all your eggs in one basket, then that basket will be very, very hard to recoup from. So what does diversification mean to you? And what can you share with people that can just, in a few, just a quick turn on that light bulb in them that makes them realize that diversification is the way to go?
Well, look, I mean, my philosophy in life, and I mean, Susanna, you know me quite well. I don't try and figure everything out in my life. I go and find out who's doing it the best in the world, what can we learn from them, and what can we partner. So this guy, Ray Dalio, is been around, 75 plus. He's super, super successful. He manages $160 billion. He's earned a return over 40 years of 21% a year. Now, I mean, that's phenomenal. Like literally no one really understands that. In terms of 21%. And I'm sure that literally, I mean, who here on the chat, just literally type in the chat, like if you would like 21%, like and I'm not talking in rands, I'm talking in US dollars. So then the question is, okay, well, how did he do it? And there's this book by Tony Robbins where Tony Robbins was so pissed off in 2009, 2010, because what most people don't know is 10 million Americans went bankrupt in the last crash, 10 million Americans. And so he went out and he interviewed some of the wealthiest people in the world, Ray Dalio being one of them. And he said, right, what are the principles of money? And Ray Dalio was like, no, it's my secret formula. I'm not sharing it with anyone. And Tony Robbins was like, dude, you're 75. Like, it's time for legacy. Like it's time to hand over the secret sauce, So anyway, long story short, Ray Dalio shared the formula. And firstly, he said the single most important component to financial success is diversification. And so what does that mean? Okay, well, he talks about diversifying across asset classes. So let's just take into context, Susanna, I know a lot of people, you do too, that live in Cape Town and they own 10 houses. Okay, well, have they diversified? No. They own 10 houses in one city, in one country, in one asset class, in one currency. Then, diversify within asset classes. Okay, cool. Well, I've got money in the Johannesburg Stock Exchange, the London Stock Exchange, and the New York Stock Exchange. Am I diversified? People go, yep, I'm diversified. You're like, no, you're not. Because if the New York Stock Exchange crashes, trust me, the London and the Joburg one go down within minutes, if not hours. Yes or no? I mean, just tell me if I'm wrong, anyone, in terms of the process, And then diversify across markets and currencies. Well, if you had all your money in the American property market in 2008, you would have felt like a class clown. I mean, the property market, depending on what city you were in, lost between 40 and 70%. So if you had all your money in America, it's a major problem, okay, in 2008. In Brexit, most people don't know this, commercial property lost 20% in England, specifically London, as Brexit happened, boom. So if you've got all your money in commercial property in Brexit. And even another story, Dr. Dolph de Roos, who most people know, because most of us grew up reading this book, Real Estate Riches. Like anyone that's done property probably started reading this book. He had 8 commercial buildings in Christchurch in New Zealand. He used to stand on stage everywhere in the world telling everyone, how well he had done until the earthquake happened. And then he had insurance, but the insurance wouldn't pay. They said it was an act of God. All the buildings got condemned. He still had to pay the mortgage, but he had no income because the tenants weren't allowed to go in the building. So I'm just using real life examples, Susana, to explain diversification. But what's really important, and I like to simplify it and literally go, you have to diversify across countries, across currencies, across assets, across partners, and across time. And what's interesting is that he's got the formula. So I told you about the secret formula, which he's got down below here. And I can see that my little wheels playing games. But anyway, but in simple terms, this is the formula, and you need 15 uncorrelated bets in an attractive array of assets that don't move in tandem, reduce the risk by 80%, and the risk-return ratio increases by a factor of 5. Now, I guarantee you that 99.9% of people that watch this are like, what the hell is Scott talking about? It's overwhelm, it's typical financial industry jargon. They're like, I have no idea what you're talking about. And what's so important here is that actually, if you simplify this, and that's one of the things that I've tried to really focus on for 20 years, is let's take the complicated BS that the financial industry purports to you, because basically what they want to do is they want you to feel stupid, so you don't know what you're doing, so you give them their money and they can make fees out of you. That's the formula in simple terms. So I tell you what, let's make this simple. What is he actually saying? If you invest in 15 quality assets that don't move in tandem, that's all he's saying. So invest in 15 quality assets that don't move in tandem. If you do that, you'll reduce your risk by 80% and you'll increase your return by a factor of 5. Now, I don't think there's many people that are on here that don't want to reduce their risk by 80% and increase their return by a factor of 5. And if you want to reduce your risk by 80% and increase your return by a factor of 5, it's actually quite simple. You need to find 15 quality investments to invest in that don't move in tandem. And I don't know if this little video will work, but literally this was a clip I took out of a TED Talk where they were interviewing him on what you and I do, not what the wealthiest people in the world do. What do you and I do in terms of where the world is and all the uncertainty at the moment? And this is what he had to say.
So what the individual investor needs to do is know how to diversify well. So the word that I would know how to diversify well and in a balanced way, to diversify it in asset classes, to diversify it in countries, to diversify it in currencies, to know how to diversify that well so that you have wealth diversification is important. Do not think that cash is a safe investment. Cash is almost always the worst investment. So you have to think about that. You should think a little bit unconventionally. Diversify well, be humble, don't market time, and be conscious of the dangers of cash.
So just in case people couldn't hear that, what he said and you can go Google it, it's in a TED Talk, 26 minute. The most important thing for an individual investor is to know how to diversify well in a balanced way. You need to know how to diversify in assets, countries, and currencies. Knowing how to diversify your wealth is the most important thing. So again, Susana, I know I can kind of overwhelm people, but like I like to, this is not my opinion, there's the substance. Like, it's someone managing $160 billion. By the way, to invest with him personally, you need $100 million. And my philosophy is if he's getting those results and that's his formula, we can try and go and figure it all out ourselves, or we can just copy.
100%. And I think that I so resonate with what you're saying. And I know that Tony Robbins, Richard Branson, all of the amazing leaders in this world that have done crazy, fantastic things, you get the right people to do the job. You can't do everything yourself. And so I love that you're researching these brilliant people that have done exceptionally well and bringing that information to the public and making it accessible. I know for me, it's really helped me understand, because I've always shied away from investments and shied away from the financial world, I suppose, because like you said, it's so full of jargon and the misinformation makes you feel completely overwhelmed. So it makes me want to run. But Scott, since we've met, things have started to shift. So thank you, sir. I appreciate that. I really, really do. One of the things that I really want to reiterate for everybody following is because I know that some people still have issues around money. Money is the root of all evil, you're materialistic, all of these things. I really want to reiterate that money is just an energy that allows you to expand whatever exists within you. So if you can think of it like that literally having more money means that you will expand whatever it is within you. That makes it so beautiful, because if you are somebody who lives from a place of love, it will just expand your capacity to love. Like, I love making more money because it means I can spoil more people. It means that I can help a school or an orphanage or whatever it is that I decide to do. And I can spoil myself. This is a beautiful thing. If you are somebody, people go, yeah, but that person is so stingy and blah, 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 then it's just amplifying what they are. So know yourself and know what you want to amplify within yourself. And if your heart is led by something beautiful and guided by love, you can completely expand that. And so you making money is one of the greatest things that you can actually do. And this is why I've gotten Scott to come and chat to you today. Craig is going, Susana, 100%. Be, do, have 100%. Thank you, Craig. Okay, Scott, what is important for you to share with people right now? What do you think is something that they can maybe use, go away right now and use within their lives if they don't? Because I know that you've got an amazing challenge coming up in Johannesburg this weekend. And I do want to hear about that. But for people who are listening right now, if you could say to them, do this now, and it will already start changing things for you, what would it be?
Yeah, I think there's three things. I think we're in a very interesting period of the year, okay? We're in November, and all of us are sitting there going, wow, I had those New Year's resolutions in January, and what the hell happened to the year? It's November. And, if anyone's the same as me, it's like, oh my word, there's like 6-7 weeks left in this year, and you're trying to put the pedal to the metal and go as fast as you can to basically do in 6 weeks what you should have done for the last 12 months. Okay, in the 11 months, whatever the maths is. So I think, like I said, I think there's three things. I think people have a choice. And that's that the first choice is that you can keep doing what you've done. And the definition of insanity is expect different results. So you get to the end of this year and you keep doing what you've done, and you go into next year and you write some New Year's resolutions. You write 2025 is going to be different. And in your heart it's not, because you did the same thing in 2023 and 22 and 21 and 20, and for some people it's been decades. The alternative to that is you decide to do something differently. You actually decide to take action. You get proactive. I mean, Susana, you and I had this conversation in 2019, and credit to you, you are now really being proactive. And it's like, right, what have I got to do? How do I do this? I want to prioritize this. And so that's the first thing. I think people sit in an impasse, and I really give you a heaven and hell type scenario. For me, hell is you get to Christmas, you go in with frustration and anxiety because you didn't achieve what you wanted. And I don't care whether you got $10 or $10 million. There's a lot of people, no matter what your financial needs and wants are, where you kind of aim to do something and you didn't do it in 2024. And so the question is, what are you going to do in the next 6 weeks to go into Christmas, which I call heaven, where you literally go in knowing you've taken action, you've got a plan in place, and even if you might not have got all the results by the festive season, you know that next year will be different because you've got that momentum. Does that make sense? So that would be the first thing. I'd literally just say to people, just be decisive. Because if you keep doing what you've always done and you expect different results, it ain't going to change. Like you've got to do something different. So that's the first thing. The second thing is that we've got two things that I'm really excited about, Susana. One of them is our passive income challenge. So what we've done is we've literally said to people, someone like Susana comes to me and says, listen, I want to invest offshore. I want to diversify. It sounds too good to be true. Like, I can start from $10. Sounds too good to be true. We're like, cool. Why don't you come on the line, set up the platform. Literally, there's 4 steps. Sign up on the platform. KYC, which is, you got to it's a regulatory thing. Know your client, but you have to, if you open a bank account, anything, you have to do it once. It's regulation. Number 3, fund your wallet. And number 4, invest in a deal. Like, that's it, 4 steps, okay? I like to say there's a 5th step, which is enjoy and celebrate the results, okay? So our logic was, how do we get people within 30 days to literally walk through it? Because one of the feedback I get all the time is, Scott, you talk a lot and you lots of inspiration and blah, 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 but it's confusing. So we're like, cool, let's simplify it. 4 things. We do it for 4 weeks. You literally do 1 thing a week. And our objective within 30 days is that you earn a passive income. So even if you invest $10, you earn a passive income. And the logic is you go into Christmas literally going, oh my word, this actually works. I got a result. Now, even if you invested $10 and you got a minuscule result, like it can't even afford the cup of coffee you're talking about, but you still got a result. The feeling that people get, and if you don't mind, I'd love to share that video with Derek explaining that feeling. But when you actually earn a passive income and you go, wow, this is possible, that can change everything next year. Because now you go, actually, no, this is possible. It's not hypothetical, it's not a dream. So my strong recommendation is that people join the passive income challenge. It's starting next week, and it doesn't cost anything. You literally join. We take you on a journey. You have to fund your wallet, obviously, but you can get started from $10, and we'll literally hold you right through the process. So to those people that say, I don't have time, and I don't have money, and I don't have knowledge, well, I'm sorry, they're all gone, okay? Because literally in 4 weeks, we're going to take you from starting to a passive income, 30 days to be exact, starting to a passive income. Secondly, I don't have knowledge. Well, we're going to literally teach you how to do it in 30 days. And then I don't have the money. Well, if you don't have $10, then I'm sorry, but you're never, ever going to have enough money to do what you want. And I don't mean that to be horrible, but where there's a will, there's a way. So that's the second thing, Susana, in terms of, and then for those that want to go more advanced and go deeper, I have a workshop coming up. I've got one now in Johannesburg, Pretoria, this Friday and Saturday. And I've got another one in London on the 4th and 5th of December. And what I do in that workshop is it's a 2-day workshop where I actually take you through. So there's 5 modules. The very first module is why diversification. So I shared with you Ray Dalio. There's 10 other experts, Warren Buffett, Dr. Dolph DeRoos, Robert Kiyosaki, Tony Robbins, Richard Branson, some of the big institutions like BlackRock, and so all of the names that everyone's heard of before. And the first module is what is diversification and why is it singularly the most important thing to investment? Because I'm a big believer, if you don't get clear on the why, everything else is relevant. Everyone comes to me and they go, how do I make money? What do I do? No, hang on. Why are you doing it? We've got to start with the why, okay? Then on the module 2, it gets down to the asset classes. Like, what do I actually invest in? Like, is it property? Is it the stock market? Is it structured notes? Is it private equity? I'm willing to bet you most people here don't even know what private equity is, don't invest in private equity, and yet it singularly gets you a better result than most other investments, and people don't even get access to it. So we take you through the different asset classes. What do you actually do? What countries do you invest in? Do you invest in South Africa? Do you invest in England? What about America? Is it good that one of them might or not win? I'm not getting political as to who's going to win, but like, what does that mean? Like, should I or shouldn't I invest in America? What currencies do I invest in? Should I invest in the dollar? Should I invest in the rand? Should I invest in the rupee? Like, whatever. And then, so you got what countries, you got what currencies, and you got what assets. Then, and by the way, I've already showed you with Ray Dalio, there's 15 quality assets. You need to be clear on what your 15 assets are. Now, I love this, and I don't want to overwhelm people, Susana, but I always give people a sheet. They literally get a sheet. So it's a 1-page sheet, and I'm happy to share this with you. You can give it to people as a gift. It's our investor strategy sheet. So why are you doing it? What are the top 5 countries? What are the top 5 currencies? What are the top 15 assets? And it's at that point when I give it to people and I say, well, Ray Dalio says 15. What assets? And people like property, stock market. And there's like deer in the headlights. It's like, I don't know, what else? So anyway, so that's module 2. Module 3 is now you need to build a portfolio. And this is where we introduce our family office concept. So most people don't even know what a family office is, but they basically manage the money for the top 1%. So our whole philosophy is always, if the top 1% are doing it, do it and copy them, and even better, partner with them. So module 3 is all about literally how do you build asset allocation. And what's scary is that 85% of your total return, 85% of your total return by the age of 65 is determined by your asset allocation. So that's day 3. Day 4 is how do you find the right partners? In simple terms, how do you manage risk? The single most important thing to looking after your money is managing risk. And how do you manage risk the best? Finding the right partners. So module 4 is just about partners. How do you find the right partners? And day 5 is bringing it all together. You literally walk away with, we call it a wealth plan. It's literally, if your passive income number is to earn X, what do I need to do? How do I do it to get to that freedom number, and by when? And our whole philosophy, Susana, is that in 5 modules, I either do it as an online challenge over 5 days and or a 2-day workshop, is that you literally go in and you walk away with an entire plan that you can now execute on. Like, does that make sense? So again, I just want to be clear to your question. I said 3 things. 1 is be decisive and do something different between now and Christmas, because hell is you're going to be in anxiety knowing nothing's going to change. And heaven is you've actually taken action and are getting measurable progress so that you go into 2025 a different year. That's step 1. Step 2 is we've got the passive income challenge. And if you literally want to start with $10, you can, and you can earn a passive income in 30 days. And I'll give Suzanne all these links. She can give you the links to join us. It's free. And 3 is actually come and invest the time. You know, give me 2 days of your time and I'll give you an entire plan so that you can walk away. And it's not just my plan, it's your personalized plan so that you can walk away. And imagine now going into Christmas where you've earned a passive income, so you know it's possible, and you've got an entire plan. That makes 2025 completely different.
It's absolutely amazing. I wish I could come to Johannesburg this weekend. Like it sounds like it's going to be fantastic. Michael, thank you so much for sharing wealthmigrate.com. Scott, do you have another link that they can go to that is more direct to the challenge that they can sign up for? And also for the weekend, do you have links for those 2 things that you could share in the chat? And for those of you listening on Instagram, what I'll do is I'll grab the links from Scott and for everybody that's in Zoom with us, and I will send it out in the email with the recording of the this conversation that we've had today, and you'll be able to sign up using the links below. I can see that Maureen is saying, wow, mind blown, Scott, this is awesome. Soraya said while you were talking, she was like, I'm in, sign me up. I definitely want to do this. Pam is also very excited and interested. So I can see how people are really responding to this. And I understand why, because it's true. If we take action in these small ways now, and they are little decisions. And what you said earlier on is priority is taking action. When we met in 2019, the entry level price of joining to sign up was very different from the entry level price that you've got to sign up now. Now there's literally no excuse, guys. $10. It's $10 is less than 3 cups of coffee. And I know because I love my coffee and I know how much coffee costs. So it's less than 3 cups of coffee. So if each week you only decided to give up 3 cups of coffee and you decided to invest in yourself and in your future instead, this would make a massive difference. Sandy Kennedy, first of all, are we related? Because every time I go to a funeral or a wedding, I meet some more family members. So let me know. And then
just for the record, Sandy Kennedy was on the challenge last week, and I was getting so bloody confused between her and you. I was like, you actually even have the same like first name nearly. It was like confusing the shit out of me. Like,
So funny. And literally, my sister from another mister is called Sandy. So we like, it's mine and her name combined. Sandy is saying, I'm in already and just love and trust Scott and his team so much. We can just say that we are related, Sandy. Okay, fine. Cool, cool. I'll take it. I'll take it. For this weekend, Scott, can you give a few more details? Where is it happening? I know it's happening in Johannesburg, but can you share a few more details with everybody online? For those of you that are in Johannesburg, listen up, because this is an amazing opportunity. I honestly, if I was able to even travel to Johannesburg, I would be there this weekend. So please listen up. This is a great opportunity, and I'm sure Scott will run these again in other places. But if you can travel, or if you're in Johannesburg, the Diversification Challenge is happening this weekend. And where exactly? Scott, give us details.
Yeah, so I mean, look, the link that I've put in the chat box for you, I've given you two links. I've given you the link to the workshop, and I've also given you the link to the passive income challenge. So I've put both of them in the chat box for you. But if someone goes here, they can, they can watch the video, they can read all about it, they can see who it's for. So basically, someone who wants to diversify their investments between countries, currencies, assets, partners, and time. Someone who wants to build a globally diversified passive income of at least 5K, 10K, 25K. Someone who wants to learn directly from leading authorities in each asset class and learn how to partner with them. Use your limited time to get effective results. This is a classic one. I have it all the time. Scott, I don't have 2 days. Okay, cool. How's the last 10 years worked for you in this space? No, it hasn't. Okay, cool. Well, maybe invest 2 days and do something different and set yourself up for success, and you'll actually get the time that you want back. Achieve your desired outcome, and with a time frame of predictability. Be held accountable. Have a family office to help you manage. Like, imagine having someone look after your tax and your structuring and your financial affairs. Not a financial planner, a family office. Generational wealth. What does that mean? How do you leave a legacy? How do you hand it over to your children and finally get results? So you can go read all about it. You can literally see what is module 1. I've kind of explained this already. What is module 2? Who the different partners are that are coming? What is module 3? Module 4 and module 5. But the question you're asking is right. And by the way, there's loads of testimonials if people want to go read all about it. I love this slide. Who are you before the workshop and who are you after the workshop? So you can be overwhelmed by complexity, worried, confusing and struggling, uncertainty, limited knowledge, or you can be empowered, take control, personalized action plan, effectively manage, confidence to diversify, and peace of mind, wealth protection, plan B in a family's future. But yeah, to answer your question, here it is here, Susana. It's Friday and Saturday, so the 8th and 9th. We've purposely done it because busy corporate people can take 1 day out of work, and entrepreneurs like to have their weekends as well. So we've done both. We've kind of got Friday and Saturday. You can take one work day and 1 weekend day. You're not taking your whole weekend. You're not taking 2 days out of work. So it's Friday and Saturday, and it's at we've actually been, one of our mastermind members is the chairman of the Grain Association, and so we're doing it. They've got an amazing auditorium, and we're doing it at their auditorium. It's basically near Mainland Shopping Centre in Pretoria. So in terms of the location. And then in London, it's the exact same sequence, but it's the 4th and 5th of December, and that'll be in London. I'm just verifying. Funny enough, Paul well. I'm just verifying the venue with Paul as to where that's going to be.
Most of you will know Paul O'Mahony. He's been with me a number of times, and Scott is off to go and join him. Scott, I know that you have a hard stop coming soon. I actually want to share something before I ask you the last question. I used to think that I needed to make my money through my purpose, through my reason for being on this planet. And what I've learned over time is that if you learn to make money, like different streams of income that support you to have the freedom to actually make the decisions around your purpose from a clear space and not from a space of desperation, your purpose is able to unfold in a completely different way. And I really want you guys to get that, because I remember meeting an artist who were like, she made no money from her paintings. She really made like absolutely no money from her paintings, but she loved to paint. It was like, it was the thing that filled her life with the most happiness. And she ended up setting up a whole lot of passive income streams that allowed her to live a life that she loved while earning money. And I'm saying this to you because I know that we've been taught that our job should be our life, but actually, I don't think that's true. And I watched a wonderful testimonial, which we don't have time to play now, but maybe, Scott, you can share the link for that as well with one of your clients. And he's a farmer. Guys, he's a farmer, and he has joined Scott's community, Wealth Migrate, and he is earning money from his investments, so that during those months where there isn't enough water and the farm isn't making what it needs to be making, he is still being able to keep the farm running because he's making passive income from his other income streams. And I think this is such a massive one for us to grasp. With my godchildren, I've got 5, I always say to them, guys, learn how to make money work for you so that you can make decisions in life from a place of love and not desperation. So I don't know who needed to hear that right now, but I hope that it resonates with you and connects with you so that you can continue to expand love in a beautiful way.
Well, can we share that little video? It's 1 minute long with Derek.
Yes, go for
I
it.
think it's just, a lot of people sit here and they go, oh yeah, but Scott, you've got lots of money, or Susana's, super good at what she does. Whatever excuses they come up with, it's not for me. I can't do it. And I'm like, no, trust me, anyone can do it. And what's really important is that I love showing real people, real stories. I mean, Derek got started with like not even $1,000. Like, so it's not a case of like, oh, someone else has all the money, etc. And I just love this video because what's most important is the excitement that he has. And this is why I say the passive income challenge, because for me, it's the feeling when you first experience passive income is something truly special. Sorry, that's the long one. I just want to find you the shorter one. Yeah. In terms of, where's it gone now?
There's a very good question coming in, Scott.
Yeah.
And that is, are people able to Zoom in for the 2 days?
I can see Alex has just joined. So the answer is no, but I was thinking about it watching that question as to whether we should or shouldn't like do that basically. So the simple truth is we don't want to do that, okay? Because I struggle to do online events and live events at the same time, okay? But I do have a solution for people. So I just want to share with you the here it is. I've got it. Okay. Yeah, here it is. 1 minute.
Scott, can you remember when you were a little kid and it was Christmas morning and you opened your Christmas presents? Huh? Can you remember that? That's what I feel like.
I have a little kid, so I get reminded quite regularly at the moment.
I tell you what, amazing. And I only just got a few dollars back in my investments again. It's the second payment that I got in that I've seen on my wallet. And it's money that I didn't have to slog for. I had to think for it, but I didn't have to slog for, and it's absolutely fantastic. It's just when you start seeing your money work for you, it's just an absolutely indescribable feeling. And as a farmer now, I've got a very specific goal, which says that I need to build alternate income streams so that the weather doesn't matter, because that's being a crop farmer, the weather matters very much, and particularly this past year. When your income for a year is only 30% of what your expenses will be, you're in a difficult position. And to be energized and as excited as what I am in that position is incredibly empowering. Thanks, Scott.
And that's Susana, that what he just shared there is what I kind of wanted people to resonate with, because he's had a tough year of farming. Like that hasn't worked. 2024 has not worked. His expenses, his income is 30% of what his expenses were. To put in simple maths, if his costs were R1 million, he only made 300,000 Rand in income. Okay. and yet he still did it. And look at the excitement he goes into Christmas with, and that's what I want to give other people. Like, does that make sense? So let's come back to that question of how to get it online. I have shared with you the link as to how to do the passive income challenge, and if someone goes in, they can actually get the diversification challenge there, which is the same 5 modules, just in an online thing. So it actually sits here in the university. I've given Susana the link. I'll put it in again, so you can get access to it for free. I will talk to Alex. I might just suddenly make the 2 days available if we can, technology-wise. But it's quite a complicated thing, you know, when you're standing on stage talking with people, and now you're trying to talk at the camera. It doesn't have the same experience. But we'll definitely be doing our next online challenge in January. So if for some reason you want to join live and you can't make it to the live workshop, then the diversification challenge we'll do again in January. But the passive income challenge is literally starting next week, where you can join us live in terms of the process.
I can help you with that situation that you're feeling challenged by, Scott.
What, standing on stage doing dual?
Doing the dual thing. We'll have a little chat after this. I know you've got to get to another meeting, but we'll have a little chat, and let's see if I can give you some ideas on how to make that work. But I wanted to say thank you from the bottom of my heart, not only for being here today, but being the incredible force that you are in this world, Scott. Thank you for stepping up and actually taking the initiative and doing what it takes to make a difference in this world. I think it's beautiful. I appreciate you, and I see you. And I know you're seeing something else on your screen at the moment. Is there something you want to share?
I just want to share with someone, because I think people should see this in real life. So, you know, we've all been taught to go out and buy houses and give our money to the financial industry. We all hope we'll retire. But I mean, this is real life. Like, these are literally, like, I was in America 3 weeks ago. And, you know, I mean, this is the back end systems, but I mean, this is 2 of our industrial buildings. I mean, literally it's what, $4,000 a month. And that's October, that's September, that's August, that's July, that's June. I think you get the picture. So that's industrial buildings, literally paying out monthly. You know, this here is multifamily. This is 750 apartments. Again, paying sort of $6,500, $6,400, whatever the number is, every single quarter. I mean, this here is a massive office tower. Again, paying about $6,300 every quarter. And the only reason I wanted to finish it with that is, like, it's real. It's real. Like the buildings are paying, the people are getting the income. But the best part, Susana, is I didn't have to fix any toilets. I didn't have to manage any, like, rents. I didn't have to go and fix the roof. I didn't have to deal with tenants and hassle and complexity and all that. What I did was go on the platform and invest, and then I wait for my passive income to come in. And that's why we talk a lot about passive income, because anyone that buys houses knows that it's not passive. And that's just something that I want to show people, because you can't talk about it. I like you to see it. So now you've seen it, come and enjoy us and experience it like Derek has, because then I want more testimonials. Like, my question is always, like, who wants to be excited like Derek, by Christmas?
Yeah, beautiful. Lovely. Thank you, Scott. Thank you so much for being here. And guys, I will share all of the links. I will edit this at some point today, and I will pop it up, and all of the links will be there. If you have not signed up to be a part of my community or my newsletter, please do, because that's always the most reliable way of getting emails with the content that is being created. But for those of you on Instagram, I will share a link in my bio so that you guys can check that out. I can see, thank you so much. This has been so inspirational. Thank you so much. What a great session. Thank you, Susana and Scott. Have a great week, everyone. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So many thank yous. And this was really, really fantastic. This was really informative. Where is the link? If you just scroll up, Deirdre.
I'm just putting it in again.
That's popping it in for you again. There we go. So you guys can join. Yay! I'm so excited that you are going to be a part of expanding wealth, abundance, and therefore love on this planet, guys. Lots of love, Scott. Any parting words?
Again, I can't overemphasize how many successful people I talk to even at this time of the year, and they all kind of, they're under the conch. There's a lot going on, and I say, which one do you want? Do you want to have a plan at Christmas or do you want to have excuses? And for me, I just overemphasize for people, please, every single person has the opportunity to take control now and to go into next year. And don't worry about the American elections or the bloody Ukraine crisis or anything. Take control of your life. Go into Christmas with a peace of mind, knowing things are working in a plan, and or be like every other year where you go in with anxiety. And so, yeah, for me, Susana, it's just people taking responsibility. Like what I'm passionate about is empowering everyone. Well, my purpose is to empower everyone to invest like top 1%. But what I'm passionate about is what you and I do, which is inspiring people off the ledge to live an extraordinary life. And that's why I'm deeply, deeply appreciative of you sharing with your community, helping me share this with people, because we need to get people away from a life of excuses to a life of extraordinary.
Yeah, I agree with you. And guys, it is about prioritizing. Where there's a will, there's a way. Like I'm literally sitting here. I've got an event on Thursday night in Cape Town, and I've got 2 events on Cape Town in Cape Town on Sunday. And I'm thinking, can I take the red eye on Friday? And then would I be able to? I'm trying to work it out. This is why I'm trying to get you to do the online session, by the way. But even if the online session is not available to me, I've actually already gone through the diversification challenge videos. I can set aside Friday and Saturday as if it is my own little challenge, right? And I can watch the videos on those 2 days. So there is always a way if you decide, guys. And I really hope that you decide to take action, because I can't wait to see what you will create and what will happen for you. All right, that's it, Scott.
Also, Susana, just in case people use it as a block, you don't have to do the 2 days to join the passive income. Does that make sense? Like you can literally get started, learn to walk. We'll hold your hand, with the passive income challenge.
Absolutely. You can actually get started today, guys. You just need to click on that link and you can get started today. So I think that that's also very, very, very relevant. The link is in the chat for everybody who's in Zoom, and for those of you on Instagram, you're going to have to wait, sorry, but it will be coming. And lots of love, lots of blessings, keep being amazing, keep expanding love on this planet. Scott, thank you for being here today.
Cheers, everyone. Thanks.
Bye for now.